Welcome to the Lesson 2 warm-up. In this video, we'll take a look at some photos of daytime stormy skies to get a feel for how to create our assignment painting. So this is our primary example here. This is kind of what I was inspired to create our composition by. And it is a farm with a lightning bolt in the distance. It's kind of piercing through the clouds. We're not going to add all this junk here on the horizon, but if you wanted to, you could add pretty much whatever you want to this composition to make it a little more interesting to look at. But in my example, I kind of keep things simple and just stick to the lightning bolt and the grass. So what you'll notice about this particular piece is that there is a lot of darkness in the sky, but it's still daytime. So the grass is very light, like you would expect to see if there weren't a storm. However, the sky is very dark. There's this big wall of clouds, and it's very dark. And behind that, the sky's a bit lighter, but especially where the dark meets the light, there's this especially light area right around here. And this is kind of backlighting, where the light is kind of coming from behind the clouds a little bit. So this is a very important area for this to look correct, and we'll be taking a look at how to achieve this when we start doing our painting. There's of course the lightning bolt, and it's kind of coming out of a hole in the sky. There's a nice glow there. And then what's important about the lightning bolt to get it to look right is that it needs to have a little bit of color in it. It has to have kind of a glowing edge that's kind of soft. And that's a lot easier to do than you think. And we'll take a look at how to do that in the lesson. Now we'll take a look at a few other examples because we are going to combine some things in our composition that weren't originally there. So here we have a puddle with some grass peeking out, and we're going to have a puddle in our painting that we do. So it's good to take a look at this because you can see the puddle kind of flooded the field, and some of the grass is getting covered up and some of it's not by the water. A little bit of grass is peeking out, and there's a nice reflection of the sky and everything else around it. Take a look at this example of a puddle. Same kind of thing where it rained a lot and it just filled up a little recessed area. Generally the lowest lying areas in the composition will fill up with water first, so anywhere that's kind of concave will of course collect all the water. So that's this area here, and because that's the lowest lying area, this happens often, so grass doesn't grow there very well. So you'll notice that it's pretty muddy along the edges because the grass can't grow underwater. And then we're going to put rain in our painting so that it looks like it's in the middle of a storm. And rain is one of those things where you can capture it in several different ways. If you've ever gone and taken pictures of waves on the beach, you'll notice that if you take a really quick exposure or take a picture with flash, that you'll be able to see all the individual drops of water in that wave. However, if you take a longer exposure, the wave kind of becomes a soft, kind of misty shape that doesn't really have that much definition. It's the same thing with rain. If you were to capture this more quickly, you would see each individual raindrop just kind of floating in the air. It might look kind of like snow or hail. However, if you do a longer exposure, the rain starts to streak. That's kind of the effect we're going for here, is the more streaky effect. There's a way to adjust the streakiness of your rain after you put it in, so there'd be some room to kind of fine-tune that to your liking. Now, you'll also notice that the rain kind of obscures everything in the distance, so you don't want to do too much rain because then all you're going to see is rain, especially back here in the background. It makes it hard to make out the details. So that's an overview of what we'll be painting, and it should help you as you work on your assignment. So go ahead and move on to the lesson 2 video.